Okay, let's take a look at some of the shit that's going on in the stores and everything else. Most of the system that puts food on the 21st century table is a mystery to the consumer, but the consumer is usually happy in their ignorance. If the complex logistics, like the picking, processing, packing, and distributing, make headlines in the news, it's because something has gone fucking wrong. Currently, there's two very big problems that have gone wrong, leading to the gaps on the supermarket shelves. One is the pandemic, which has slowed the movement of goods and the people across borders while raising the shipping costs. Any broken link in global supply chains causes a cascade of disruption which affects many countries. But Britain has a second aggravating condition to contend with, which is Brexit. Being outside the Eastern European single market and customs union, it imposes a bureaucracy and friction at the borders that British businesses did not previously face before. But ending freedom of the movement for the European nation, the Nationals has drained the labor pool from which many industries recruited. Without the agricultural workers, the food rots before it can get to the market, and without haulers, the goods sit unshipped in depots. Um, this wall was all predictable and predicted. Ending the free flowing European nation migration was an advertised benefit of Brexit. The theory was that foreigners were taking jobs from the British-born workers or depressing their wages, but the gaps should, in that view, would now be filled with eager locals. And one problem, as businesses warned well in advance, is that migrants were not generally working on dream jobs surrounded by unemployment. The tasks that they did and the conditions under which they worked might not appeal to the British workers. There might not be slack in the labor market to be taken up, but in some fields, haulage for example, there are also limits to how quickly new recruits can be trained and licensed. Um, Pay is going up in some sectors, but not by much, and it is too early to identify a sustainable boost to to the workers' power in negotiation with the bosses. One off bonus to lorry drivers do not yet do not yet presage the overdue rebalancing of industrial relations. The low pay, antisocial hours, and insecure contracts are entrenched features of Britain's economy that cannot be upgraded overnight. It is a model that relies on a workforce that is insecure and financially precarious, conditions that generated the craving for control that was so deftly exploited by the Leave campaign. The same campaign belittled or flatly denied the benefits of a single market membership. The value of frictionless borders with the continent should now be self evident. It will become clearer still when grace periods and waivers expire and another layer of bureaucracy is applied to imports from the EU. The pandemic functions as political camouflage for the Brexit related problems. The two issues are interlinked and the ministers steeped in Eurosceptic mythology are motivated to highlight the COVID dimension, but the excuses will run out before any upside to life outside the single market materializes. It is still unclear what that bounty might be. Um, Businesses also have incentives to downplay logistics problems. Supermarkets do not want to trigger panic buy-in, and suppliers do not want to advertise their commercial vulnerabilities. But sparsely, the stock shelves and unfilled orders cannot be hidden from consumers, nor will it be feasible for the government to pretend that they are accidents of nature. COVID is part of the story, but also, as and so often, the pandemic has exposed the structural weakness in Britain's society and economy, and some of these flaws have developed over generations, but not the hard Brexit that is sabotaging Britain's recovery. That was a choice sold energetically and dishonestly to the public by the current Prime Minister that they have. The financial cost might be borne by consumers and businesses, but the blame belongs to Boris Johnson. So if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel RBW King, and also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out, and thanks for listening.